Hey everybody, Jamie Pate here. Welcome to this video. Today we're going to walk through February memory planner because Stop the Blur comes out today. What else would we do? All right, let's go. Okay, for those of you who have continued with this series, welcome back. As you know, once a month, the 15th of the month, I walk through what I've just finished in my memory planner. We go backwards in memory planner because it's memory. It's not planning. It's fun. It's just a way to be creative, but to kind of stop the blur a little bit in our lives, right? Who's here for that? I know I'm here for that. I really do enjoy the going back. It's a great review time. It's a great time to pull my daily journal out, see my notes, see what was going on, see what areas I still need to improve on, just kind of trigger what happened and either just be super grateful and thankful for what is in my life or adjust. Sometimes I really, truly need to adjust. Anyway, so let's look at February. So I'm just going to pop right over into this part of the month. And as I get to it, I'll share with you. I have this little process I want to share with you at the very end, and I'll show you what that is as we get to it. For the most part, what you're seeing is also February's Stop the Blur kit that Heidi Swapp offers on a subscription basis, and that kit is no longer available. But sometimes when there are pieces still in stock, they show up again about 6 months from now. So as always, I'm just going to kind of walk through what each page is going on. Doesn't have any rhyme or reason going on here, except for that, I do try to put the pictures and the journaling in the day that they belong, since these are divided up by days. This started on the 1st, and I used the alpha and number stickers that were part of February's kit. This here is this lovely mini folder die, and I think I've used it a couple places, and I just have tucked in here. This is a kind of a glassine heart that was from last month's kit, meaning February's kit. And so was this little goals accordion here. Super fun. I mean, you could figure out how to recraft that, but that was a fun little element to have in here. These vintage tags. Sometimes there's no rhyme or reason why I have them. I just stick them on a page because they're pretty. This here is a little kind of like a folder shape die cut. It's from last year's February kit from 22. And then Live a Great Story is from February's printable. And I believe it was red. And I'm going to get myself in trouble here because I colored it black in Photoshop Elements. So if you're going to ask me how to do that, first you have to have and know how to use Photoshop Elements to recolor your printable elements. Here's that glassine bag again, and this time, let's see if we can get it out of here, I added just little, it's stamped. It's from one of the February stamps. Actually this is from February's Stamp Society, and I stamped that on there in black soot, and so it just kind of hangs over a little bit. That was just kind of being fun there. I'm really learning to be better about, things don't have to make rhyme or reason. I tell myself, you're a Puritan, and I'm like, there's no Puritan blood in you. So how are you such a Puritan? I don't know. And I mean that to say that I just things have to, for whatever reason, be used for what they were meant for. And that really doesn't work for someone who's trying to be creative. But it's something that I do still fight against. There's something within me that's this has to be used a certain way. And I'm continue to learn to let go of that. So this little sleeve and tag, I actually cut it down and layered the glassine bag over it. And there's journaling there. I think this is from, for some reason, this is sticking to the page. It's not supposed to be. But this, I can't remember what this brad is from. But this brad was from a kit. And then I just added it to the photo corners. This is from the, is this blush or ballet? Maybe this is a ballet kit from the New Color Collective. So I used one of the photo corners, and I then attach the brad to it, and then there is the journaling underneath. So that's there. Now this was a lot of fun. Hopefully you follow me on Instagram, because this was February Stamp Society, and I used the heck out of this. I just was determined. when I first got this set, I was like, I don't really know how I'm going to use this. And then I just started playing and I had so much fun. And I made this tag, and what you're going to see here a couple times is I love to add things that I make into my planners. So this took up a lot of space, but I had plenty of journaling underneath. This is a tag from I don't know when. I don't know when this tag came out. It looks like it's February from last year because it's the same color as this, but I'm not sure. So a lot of flippies going on here. Take time to enjoy the process was also part of the February printable. Moving into the second month of, actually it's the second week of the month. I just had a lot of fun here. I kind of call this sort of a stack template. So this is a pocket here. This is a DIY nested pocket. It's actually from ScrapbookCom. And then I made tags, used one of Heidi's tag dies, and then just cut these out of some different papers. This was Valentine paper. This is an older ledger paper of hers. And it's just a great way, because I like my things to be matchy-matchy on my page. And I do really like to add my morning walk sunrise photos. So it didn't really match the page. So what did I do? I hid it. That's what I did. Now here again is another example of something that I made and had pre-made, and it wasn't necessarily to be given away, so I add it to my memory planner. It's just a great way to document the things that you're making at the time by adding them in here. This was printed from a story that I put out. It was, this was hospital day. And, well, actually my mom went to the hospital this day. And this day my mom was in the hospital. I was heading over to see her and I got rear-ended. And so, you know, sometimes you just need to encourage yourself. You are greater than your circumstances, more courageous than your fears. The struggle is real, but you are strong. And on it goes. So, because sometimes we need to remember, life's not always fantastic. And it's okay to go ahead and write those stories too and remind ourselves about them. So I bullet pointed that part of the day. And a picture from the hospital. This was also a printable. Joy comes to us in moments, ordinary moments. And that's a Brene Brown quote, which was also appropriate. And then this is an older printable that I had in my bags of kits, and I just cut it out and added my journaling onto there. Another photo from the hospital. And I did this little trick a couple times. These were tags or labels, whatever you like to call them, from the February kit. I added adhesive to the two sides of my photo so that I could stash my little journaling inside there. Just a fun little thing. Doesn't have to make sense, right? Photo, journaling, and then a little flip with some journaling underneath it. Another pocket. I don't always do this, but I do like the idea of I have an element over here. I kind of would like to have an element over here. I used the alpha letters from the kit. I use them over here as well. So just kind of balancing things out. I had washi tape here. I used some washi tape here. That was actually from January's kit. And same thing. I cut out a tag. I added my journaling to the tag. And this time I clipped this little, again, from a stories that I printed. I think as I was working, I've used these clips a couple times. They're actually from Ideology. I think Heidi really needs to come out with some cute little clips, if you ask me. I do not remember which kit this is from, but these stamps are from the Stop the Blur stamp set, which is, as a matter of fact, still available. Fantastic stamp set. You need the stamp set in your life. It's super duper good. This was from the printable. This was also, I don't have it on this page. This was another tag accordion from February, and I added some photos, but I adhered rather, this little slider on top, and there is journaling, plenty of journaling. Journaling was hot and heavy this month for sure. Okay, so what you hopefully have noticed is that I have this little blank space here, and I'm going to come back to that. I had a request for a couple of products of Heidi's, and I want to demonstrate that, so we'll come back to that at the end. All right, week number 3 is floppy. Floppy, flippy. Floppy and flippy. That's what I kind of just had this whole desire of just making everything flappy and flippy. So the picture is my little trick with sticker paper, and I trim it down and I give it a nice little score, and then I attach it to my photo, then I attach it to the page. And again, with those little glassine bags and hearts. I love these so much. I can't get it out right now, but there you go. You get the idea. More flippy. Here's a big old flippy, and this again, a tag that had been made previously. Didn't make it. That's the thing I really want to point out is I didn't make this tag to put it in the book right now. It was part of my stash. Once it was made, I threw it in with February, knowing I'm probably going to want that in my memory planner. So a lot of times we just want to make something for the sense of making it, just for the desire to make it, the joy to make it. Sometimes we don't know where it's going to go. Sometimes it's going to end up in your memory planner. Just put it with your kit or put it with where you keep all your memory planning things. And then you have fodder. I love to call this planner fodder. You have fodder for your memory planner when you are ready to go and add to it. So this flipped and then this flipped and then this flipped and then this flipped. Do you get the whole flippy thing going on here? This flipped open, this flipped. Yeah, a whole lot of flipping going on, man. Whole lot of flipping going on. But it was fun. I just kind of started it, and as I was going, I'm like, just keep adding more, just keep adding more. Everything over here flips as well. This is one of the techniques I want to share with you, and we'll get back to that in a minute, but this is using this, I don't even know what you call this stencil. This is from Heidi Swapp, and I literally placed it, let me see which one it is here. I placed it on the page. This one in particular uses tattered rose and then an ink blending tool, and I just added that in, and it makes a very flat, obviously. Why I'm trying to make things flat, I don't know. It's not like I ever have before. But it makes a very flat, like, journaling spot or stamping spot or whatever. And then hopefully you can see that I also added the little small little baby hearts from the Valentine captions. It's this little cluster of hearts down here, and added them over here and here and here. Continuing on, this flips also with some journaling underneath. This is one of the labels from February. This is another one of the labels from February. This time it does flip, and I have some journaling underneath. This is a tag from the ballet color collection. And it's super simple. I used a Stop the Blur stamp and just punched out this little small baby tab. More journaling underneath. And that's week number 3. All right, now we turn. This is going to be the last week that I'll be sharing with you guys today, but this is week number 4. And to be honest, I didn't have a whole lot to add onto Monday. So I didn't add a lot to Monday, and it just kind of basically started the whole page just a little bit lower, if that makes sense. This hello is from Hello Bloom from ScrapbookCom. It's die cut, and I used Heidi Swapp's ledger paper. All the paper in here, well, not all of it, but most of the paper that you see in here is going to be from her ledger paper. I did have some things to post or photograph from Tuesday, and I did my little trick here again. This one is a little more snug. I noticed earlier I wasn't getting it out very well, but you get the idea. Journaling is being thrown around, but journaling is underneath that label. I was just trying to find reasons and ways to use those labels from that kit because they were just so fantastic. Nothing flips here. I do have one of those mini folder dies underneath. This one is from ScrapbookCom die. So are these, and a little bit of ribbon from Color Collective is just tucked in there. This label here, literally just part of my stash. The happy is also from the Color Collective, which is right here. It's these alphas. They're kind of puffy. They're a little skinny. I actually ran out of the alphas from the kit, the pink ones from the kit. I used so much of it that I ran out. This is one of the flippies from Heidi Swapp. It's these page protectors that are available in the shop. And then I cut out the Celebrate, also a die set from ScrapbookCom. I don't know, I just got a little crazy with some dies and words. Like, why not, right? It's my granddaughter's first birthday. And I made this collage in Canva, and it's just really a trial and error kind of a thing, just to be honest with you, when it comes to making that collage. I had a couple extra photos from the week. You can see I used a little clippy again and clipped that on there. And I have room for journaling, which I just haven't added yet. You can see there's plenty of journaling on this side. Journaling photo. And I backed it with a photo corner. There's nothing really fancy with this page at all because it's so heavy in the journaling. And again, just with this label, just because it's so pretty. I've always loved anything vintagey that Heidi's done. So gosh, when I saw these labels, I was like, can we have some paper like this, please, too? It's just beautiful. Party. Yeah, you're right. You guessed it. It's the same. It belongs to the same set as this Celebrate, and I will link that below. For her birthday party, I used the large October Stamp Society number, which these are still available. These made it to subscription, and then because of Christmas, they remained available. So I just grabbed the 25 just to kind of give some more emphasis. And my numbers are super subtle. That's because I've been using Lost Shadow. Let's get in. There we go. I really love this very subtle ink. It's just, you've seen me use it before on the channel, just some a little bit of hilarity, but I do really love it. And I did the same thing here as I did here. I just backed it with this little photo corner, another photo. And that's all I have so far for February. Okay, we're going to do a quick little technique process for you. So you remember here on this page, I left this open, and I had a request for how to use the stencils and where to use them or why to use them. I showed you one way that I used them here, where I stenciled with ink right straight onto the paper. Well, because this isn't very smooth, I'm not going to do it at this point. I have trimmed out a little piece of vellum sticker paper, and I just love using this technique so very much. I barely made that big enough, did I? I'm going to grab the Tattered Rose. It's the color of choice that I'm using right now. And now a couple things you can do here. You can kind of just hold this in place. Sometimes I'm really good about that, and sometimes I get a little crazy. So I am a fan of the mint tape from ScrapbookCom, so I'm going to grab that just to kind of hold everything in place. I'll still kind of make sure I have anchored it here with my fingers, my hand a little bit, but then I just come in here and I go real gentle. This doesn't need like to be pressed down like you're making a pie crust. Just come in here real soft and gentle. The vellum is so inviting of ink. That might sound kind of weird now that I say that, but it actually really is. It's just like it loves the ink. And so that is a basic way of how to use these stencils. And so when I lift it up, you are seeing just how really sweet that is. And that works with any of these stencil shapes. If you've seen me use these before, I love the dots. I have used these sort of organic shapes before. You saw me use that on the other page. Okay, so now what I'm going to do to finish this element up, grabbing this Better Days stamp. Now this is currently, I'll be honest with you, not available in the shop, but I myself have clicked on the Notify Me because I will let you know when it's back again. This was an early stamp set, and it's absolutely wonderful. Better days ahead, gonna be okay. It's a good day to have a good day. Hold on, trust the magic of new beginnings. A little smile down here says it's never too late. I think I said all of them. And then of course there's hope. This hope is kind of sitting all by itself. I'm going to ink this up here. And I'm using one of Heidi's new stamp blocks as well. And I want this to just kind of sit down here. I'm okay if it kind of comes off of my heart a little bit. You will notice here in a moment, I will trim around this. See just how beautifully the ink takes on vellum. It's one of the reasons I'm having trouble getting things in focus today. There we go. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is, because on this day I had posted, I think in my stories, it's an older stamped little kind of like a 6x8 mixed media piece that I did. And I wrote on there, never give up hope. And what was so interesting about this was that I had made that a year ago when my mother was in the hospital. And my mother was in the hospital. I mean, anytime your loved one is in the hospital, it's because it's pretty serious, right? It was serious last year, and it was serious this year once again. And of course, we realized that it was the same week, just a year apart. And again, if you are involved caregiving for somebody, then you know that it can be a little bit of an emotional roller coaster. So one of the things I like to do if I have the capacity. I don't always have the capacity. Sometimes I just do nothing. Sometimes I watch a movie. Sometimes I make food. That's something I've watched myself do over the last year, is when I feel discombobbled from a day at the hospital or getting her to the hospital or whatever the situation might be. I have found that I also enjoy making dinner, and it's become a bit therapeutic, if you will. So one of the things I do like to do, and again, I don't always have the capacity for it, but is to make something. And I made that Never Give Up. And so when I came across that, I'm not sure where this is going to fit. I'm going to do. And I can't find my Heidi Swapp scissors right now. But I'm going to take off a little bit of that R, and it's going to sit up here. I hope that looks okay. We just don't know, do we? So one of the things I like to do is just make something, especially a mixed media piece. It doesn't necessarily have to make sense to anybody else. But then when we're, fast forward to February of this year, and I found myself posting that again, and I wanted this to be part of my day on my memory planner too. Because it's true, we can't give up hope. And if you're a praying person, like I am, then prayer's got to snuggle right alongside that not giving up hope too. So, I could have gone ahead and added those, hopefully this works. I could have gone ahead and added those letters, after I put it on the page. I just wanted to make sure this worked though, like I was thinking I wanted it to work. And so now I just have sort of, in a way, it's its own kind of mixed media piece, right? Because you have the ink, you used a stencil, you stamped, and you added some letters to it. And again, I use those letters from Color Collective because I had used pretty much all the important letters from the alpha stickers from my kit. I like to use something to kind of pull up the vellum. Once the vellum's pulled up, it's no big deal to manipulate, but it's just initially getting it pulled up. And that's just one way to use the stencils and add it to your memory planner page. All right, guys. Thank you so much for being part of this walkthrough plus little process here at the end. I do welcome anytime you have a question, you want to see how something is done. I invite you to drop me a line, leave me a comment, send me a message, whatever. And I will see you in the next video.